You've probably heard of fasting before, but you want to learn more about it. So I broke it down into three questions. What is fasting? How is it beneficial? And how do you fast? Let's start off with what is fasting. Gemini defines fasting as the voluntary abstinence from some or all food, drinks, or specific nutrients for a specific period, typically for health, which could be weight loss, metabolic reset, religious rituals, or medical testing. This is kind of what biblical fasting is, but it's not totally there yet. It mentions religious rituals, but it's not really talking about God. It's just like, all these other ones. That component of God is actually a reliance on Him during the fast, which plays into the next question. How is it beneficial? Why should you fast? Why should you even consider this? And to hopefully sway your mind, I want to tell you a story. Back in November of 2025, I was coming up on like 10 years of a porn addiction. Lust was ruling my life. It was horrible. I'd heard of fasting, I'd done it before, but it was kind of just like, it's whatever. And I prayed about it hard going into one. I just chose, I'm going to do it on Sunday. And after that, I went 3 months clean. Of course, I broke it, and it's still a struggle today, but it works. The reason it failed was because of me. I missed a couple Sundays, and then the first benefit that I learned from fasting is discipline. And the main reason I really reinstituted this practice was because it's about denying your flesh and the desires that you have. And that can translate into other areas of your life. Maybe you have a porn addiction. Maybe you have another addiction, caffeine, alcohol, smoking, whatever it may be. So if you can deny yourself from something, then you build the discipline that could carry over into that other thing you want to remove. The second benefit is that it clears your mind. I fully fast from food. So for me, I'm not worrying about what am I going to eat next? What's my next meal? How long do I have to cook it? All of these things. And I can take that time back, which is at least like an hour and a half, and put it back into working on my business, which an hour and a half every week is going to add up throughout the year. And I'm working on it with a clearer mind. So I'm able to make better decisions rather than when I'm super overstimulated from eating crappy foods. And plus, if you have a goal that you're working on and you are truly serious about it, you know that any time that you can get extra is a huge help. The third and most important benefit is that it forces you to rely on God. In Matthew 11:30, Jesus says, "For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." He is calling us to put all of our worries onto him. And in fasting, it's like you are weak, you don't have food and you don't have as much energy. So you have to say, "God, I am weak. I need help." But in that weakness and in that humility, you grow closer to him. You go back to him. And that is really that's the goal. And I need you to understand, you can ask God for the strength to do anything. You can ask him for anything. And if he gives you the strength, then run hard. Just don't look back. He gave you the strength. He's like, just go do it. Sorry to pause the video, but real quick, I created 7 kickstarts to help you overcome the 7 deadly sins. If you struggle with any of them, it's the first link in the description, completely free. It's just gonna email it to you. Let's get back to it. This leaves us with the question, how do you fast? A couple weeks ago, I heard Jonathan Rumi, the guy who plays Jesus on The Chosen, in an interview with Tucker Carlson. They talked about fasting. And he opened my mind to realize fasting is not just food. It is anything that you could genuinely struggle going a day without. He mentioned for him, a big thing for him is coffee. So to go without coffee for a day would be pretty troublesome. And he mentioned like maybe like chocolate. Going without chocolate, something that brings you joy, would be hard to go without. And it's going to sound a little odd, but I have done a fast from porn, which it's like, oh, but Jeff, that's a sinful habit. I know, but it's something that's rooted in my life. So I got to take these extreme sounding measures to try and, get it out of there. And that is something that you might need to do too. I would say give it a try if you're really down in the depths of lust. Next, you're going to go for at least 24 hours. Okay, you can go 12 to 12. What I do is I go over 24, I eat dinner, I fast the entire next day, and I break it at breakfast. That's how a complete fast to me. That's how I feel most satisfied with it. You can go dinner to dinner or however you want to do it, but 24 hours. That's the rule. The third step is this is more if you are cutting out food entirely. Drink water. Seriously, you're going to forget. You're going to forget to drink water. I do it all the time. Drink a lot of water. It is the only fuel your body's really getting. And the fourth step is something Jesus taught us in Matthew chapter 6, verses 16 to 18. When you fast, do not look somber as the hypocrites do, for they disfigure their faces to show others they are fasting. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that it will not be obvious to others that you are fasting, but only to your Father who is unseen, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Don't go telling everyone, I'm fasting, I'm so hungry. Like, no one cares. And God doesn't want you to do that. Jesus doesn't want you to do that. You are supposed to still stay strong. You are supposed to act as though you are not fasting, even if it sucks. Doesn't matter if other people know. God knows. All right, let's recap. What is fasting? It is abstaining from food for dietary or disciplinary purposes. In biblical terms, it is denying your flesh. Why is it beneficial? We got the three things. Builds discipline, clears your mind, and forces you to rely on God. And how do you fast? Pick something you would genuinely struggle to go without, cut it out for at least 24 hours, drink plenty of water, and do not show the fact that you are fasting to others unless they explicitly ask or offer you food or something like that. All right. At this point, you know everything you need to do to start fasting. It is one of the three major Christian disciplines between prayer, reading scripture, and then there's fasting. Try it. You have clicked on this video for a reason. Give it a try. I don't see any way it could go wrong on your walk with God. And again, free resources if you're struggling with anything. Literally doesn't cost you anything. All you need is an email, which is free. Keep chasing God. Never stop. Love you guys. In like the Jesus way, not like, I love you.